World at war. Russia's chilling threat to the West as state TV warns of universal nuclear war if NATO peacekeepers enter Ukraine. Russia has threatened to spark World War III by nuking the West if NATO peacekeepers step just 1 foot into war-ravaged Ukraine. The terrifying threats came as President Vladimir Putin's tightly controlled state TV went into overdrive on Wednesday to warn NATO against deploying any form of peacekeeping force. The chilling uptick in rhetoric was spearheaded by a raft of claims from propaganda mouthpieces who allege Poland will seek a NATO mandate to put peacekeepers in Ukraine at an extraordinary summit on Thursday. Pro-Kremlin TV also made the baseless claim that Warsaw could seek to grab back Ukrainian territory formerly part of Poland, like the city of Lviv. Vyacheslav Nikonov, a pro-Kremlin host of state-owned Channel 1, claimed Russian truck drivers stuck on the border had spotted an accumulation of American and Polish troops. In a chilling statement, he told viewers, "As for me, Poland strives not just to fulfill a peacekeeping mission, but to stake out the territories which they consider belonging to them historically." Military expert Colonel Yuri Nutov parroted the same line on the channel, claiming, "If there are any sane people left in NATO, they will not approve a peacekeeping operation in Ukraine." Why? Because a collective NATO decision will mean a de facto declaration of war on Russia. To win this war, whether we like it or not, we will have to use tactical nuclear weapons in the theater of operations. He said this would entail the use of powerful strategic nuclear weapons, which he said means universal nuclear war. Speaking to reporters on Wednesday ahead of today's extraordinary NATO summit, Mr. Stoltenberg vowed to increase NATO's presence in Poland following the horror unfolding in Ukraine. He said, "I expect leaders will agree to strengthen NATO's posture in all domains, with major increases in the eastern part of the alliance on land, in the air, and at sea." NATO leaders are expected to agree the deployment of 4 new battle groups on the alliance's eastern flank in Bulgaria, Hungary, Romania, and Slovakia. This will see an increase in the number of multinational groups along NATO's eastern fringe to 8. The bolstering of troops builds on existing forces in Poland and the Baltic countries of Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia, where thousands of British soldiers are currently stationed. President Joe Biden has previously warned of the potential for World War III should Western nations engage in direct combat with Russia. Amid soaring tensions, Col General Vladimir Shamanov, a decorated Russian veteran also known as the Butcher of Chechnya, told Channel 1 that Putin must secure the border of Ukraine and Poland. Claiming Ukraine as Russia's, he said, "The time has come for our leadership to say very clearly, these are the borders. And don't you Poles dare poking in here, even 10 meters. You'll be hit immediately with the whole might of our caliber, cruise missiles." The Poles would be defeated, in full, if it sought to interfere with Russia's military operation in Ukraine, he said. While Putin's crackpot spokesman Dmitry Peskov said that Russia would only use nuclear weapons in the event of an existential threat. But he warned deploying Western peacekeepers to Ukraine would be very rash and extremely dangerous. He said, "Any possible contact between our military personnel and NATO military personnel could lead to quite understandable consequences that would be difficult to put right." Heavy losses. A U.S. defense official told Reuters news agency on Wednesday that Russia's combat power in Ukraine has declined below 90% of its pre-invasion levels for the first time since the war began. The estimation suggests heavy losses shouldered by Russia. Estimates put Russian losses at a whopping 15,600 men. While the United Nations says it has recorded 953 civilian deaths and 1,557 injuries among Ukrainians, but the real figure is expected to be much higher. Millions of people have fled their homes since the invasion, which enters its 28th day on Thursday. Western weapons supplied to Kiev get into the hands of terrorists, Nazis, and criminals, viewers are told.